My girlfriend said, "You're intimidated by my success. That's why you're holding me back. I'm a firefighter." She's in marketing. I said, "You're right." Then I ran into a burning building that same week, saved 3 lives, and made the national news. When her coworkers asked if she was dating that hero, original post, 32 male, I'm a firefighter. Been on the job for 9 years, currently an engineer at my station, which means I drive the rig and operate the pump. Before that, I was on the ladder for 6 years. It's not a career that makes you rich. I clear about $68,000 base with overtime, bumping it to around $82,000 in a good year. I work 24-hour shifts, come home smelling like smoke, and have scars on both forearms that I don't talk about at parties. It's honest work. I'm proud of it. My ex-girlfriend works in marketing at a tech company. She's a senior account manager. She makes around $105,000, which she mentioned often. Not in a bragging way at first, more in an offhand, "Isn't it crazy I make this much" kind of way. But over time, the mentions started landing differently. Sharper, more comparative. We were together for 2 years. The first year was great. She thought the firefighter thing was attractive. She'd come to station barbecues, take photos with the rig, post them with captions like "my hero" with a fire emoji. She loved telling people at parties what I did. It was her favorite fun fact about our relationship. The shift happened about a year in, when she got promoted to senior account manager. Bigger salary, bigger title, bigger ego. Suddenly, the firefighter thing wasn't cute anymore. It was beneath her. She started making comments. Small ones at first. You could go back to school. Get into something with more growth potential. My colleague's boyfriend just made partner at his firm. Isn't that amazing? I'm not saying there's anything wrong with what you do, but don't you ever want more? More. She said that word a lot. Like what I had wasn't enough. Like running into structures that are actively trying to kill me was somehow a lack of ambition. Then came the dinner party. She'd been invited to her VP's house for a small gathering. The kind where everyone brings a bottle of wine that costs more than my shift meal. She told me to wear a blazer and maybe don't bring up the firefighter stuff right away. I said, "What should I tell people I do?" She said, "Just say you're in public safety. It sounds more professional." I wore my normal button down. When someone at the dinner asked what I did, I said, "I'm a firefighter." My girlfriend's smile tightened so hard I'm surprised she didn't crack a molar. On the drive home, she went off. "Do you have any idea how that looked?" Every other person there was talking about acquisitions and product launches, and you're over there describing how fire spreads through ventilation systems. The host asked me. He was genuinely interested. He was being polite. He asked me 3 follow-up questions and showed me his home fire extinguisher setup. That's not the point. What's the point then? And that's when she hit me with it. The full version. The thing she'd been building toward for months. "The point is that you're intimidated by my success, and that's why you're holding me back. I'm trying to build a life that reflects where I'm going, and you're stuck in a job that hasn't changed since you were 23. I need a partner who matches my ambition, not someone who's content to stay exactly where they are." I let that sit in the car for about 30 seconds. The silence was heavy. Then I said, "You're right." She blinked. "What?" "You're right. You need someone who matches your ambition. And I need someone who doesn't think saving lives is a conversation liability. So let's stop wasting each other's time." She backpedaled immediately. "That's not what I meant. I'm just saying. You said it pretty clearly. I'm holding you back. So I'm letting go." She didn't think I was serious. She genuinely thought this was the part where I'd apologize for being defensive and promise to work on myself. That's how the script usually went. I'd push back. She'd frame it as her just wanting the best for us, and I'd cave. Not this time. I told her when we got home that I thought we should take a break. She said I was overreacting to constructive feedback. I said constructive feedback doesn't include telling your partner their career is an embarrassment. She slept at her friend's place that night. That was a Thursday. 4 days later, Monday, my shift started at 6 a.m. At around 2 in the afternoon, we got a structure fire call. Residential, multi-family building. When we pulled up, there was heavy smoke showing from the 2nd and 3rd floors, and a woman on the sidewalk screaming that her kids were still inside. I'm not going to dramatize what happened next because this isn't a movie and fire isn't glamorous. It's hot and dark and loud, and you can't see anything, and your mask fogs and your body is telling you to leave, and your training is telling you to go further. We made entry. My captain and I went up the interior stairs. I found 2 kids in a bedroom on the 2nd floor, a girl, maybe 6, and a boy, maybe 4, hiding under a bed. Grabbed them both, got them down and out to the medics. Then a neighbor said there was an elderly woman on the 3rd floor who couldn't walk well. I went back in with another crew member. Found her in a back bedroom. We carried her down. By the time we got out the 2nd time, the 2nd floor had flashed over. If we'd been 2 minutes later on either entry, it would have been a completely different outcome. The kids were fine. The woman was hospitalized for smoke inhalation but recovered. Nobody died. A local news crew had been nearby, covering a traffic accident, and diverted to the fire. They got footage of me coming out of the building with the kids, one under each arm, face black with soot, helmet crooked. That footage got picked up by a regional affiliate, then a national one. By Tuesday morning, it was everywhere. My captain did the on-camera interview, but the footage was of me. My face, my name in the cheering. Local firefighter saves 3 in apartment blaze. I woke up Tuesday to 200+ notifications on my phone. Texts from family, old friends, guys from academy. My lieutenant sent me a link to the clip on a major news site with a message. Your famous brother. Don't let it go to your head. My ex-girlfriend had not texted me once since Thursday night, until she saw the news. Update 1. Her first text came Tuesday at 11:43 a.m. Oh my God, are you okay? I just saw the news. I responded, I'm fine. Thanks. She texted again. That was insane. I can't believe that was you. Can we talk? I said, I'm on shift until tomorrow morning. I'll call you when I'm off. I didn't call her when I got off. Not because I forgot, because I wasn't ready. I needed to figure out what I was feeling. The truth is, after the fire, I was on an adrenaline high for about 6 hours, and then I crashed hard. Sat in the locker room for 20 minutes, just staring at the wall. My hands were shaking. Not during the fire. After. That's how it always works. Your body holds it together until it's safe to fall apart. I went home, showered, slept for about 14 hours, and woke up Wednesday evening to a situation I hadn't anticipated. My ex had posted about the fire. On her Instagram. Not a congratulatory message. Not a so proud of him. Post. She'd reposted the news clip to her story with the caption, when your boyfriend is literally a hero, fire red heart, and tagged me. Your boyfriend. She called me her boyfriend. After Thursday's fight. After calling my career an embarrassment. After the holding me back speech. After sleeping at her friend's house without a single text for 4 days. The moment I was on national news, she was my girlfriend again. But it didn't stop there. One of her coworkers, someone she regularly had lunch with, had seen the news and recognized me from my ex's old Instagram posts. On Wednesday, this coworker apparently asked her at work, wait, are you dating that firefighter from the news? The one who saved those kids. According to what I later found out from a mutual friend who worked at the same company, my ex didn't just say yes. She leaned into it. Full narrative. Told her coworker she was so scared when she heard about the fire that she'd been glued to the news, that she'd always known he was destined for something like this. She apparently talked about me for 20 minutes in the break room, painting herself as the devoted, terrified girlfriend. The same woman who 4 days earlier had told me my job was holding her back. Her coworkers ate it up. She became the girl dating the hero. People at her company were sharing the news clip in Slack channels, and someone had tagged her in the thread with a fire emoji. She was getting attention, the kind she understood, the kind she valued. And she was milking it. She texted me Wednesday night. People at work keep asking about you. They want to meet you. My VP said you should come to the next team happy hour. How cool is that? I read that text about 5 times. The same VP whose dinner party she told me to hide my job at. Now she wanted me there as a prop. I texted back. I thought I wasn't supposed to bring up the firefighter stuff. She responded, LOL, that was different. I was just nervous that night. Come on, don't hold that against me. I didn't respond. Thursday, she showed up at my apartment. Unannounced. With takeout from a Thai place I like. She walked in like the last week hadn't happened. Set the food down, kissed me on the cheek, and said, I've missed you. Let's just forget the stupid fight and move on. I said, which fight? The one where you told me my career was an embarrassment? Or the one where you told me I was holding you back because I'm not ambitious enough? I was stressed. I said things I didn't mean. You meant every word. You've been saying versions of it for 6 months. The dinner party was just the first time you said the full thing out loud. She shifted tactics, got teary, said she was proud of me, and that seeing the news put everything in perspective. She said she always knew what I did mattered, and she was sorry for making me feel less than. I said, for days ago you wanted me to call myself public safety instead of firefighter. Now you're posting my rescue clip on your Instagram and telling your coworkers you're my girlfriend. Which version of you is real? She said, this version. The one sitting here telling you I was wrong. You're not here because you think you were wrong. You're here because my job became impressive enough for your social circle to validate. That's not an apology. That's a rebrand. She started crying for real then. Not the strategic kind, the frustrated kind. The kind where someone knows they've been caught and doesn't have a good response. She said I was punishing her for being honest about her feelings and that I clearly didn't want to make this work. I said, I wanted to make it work when you told me I was beneath you. You didn't. The only thing that changed is that a camera caught me doing my job, and that shouldn't be what it takes. She left the Thai food. Took herself. Update 2. The news cycle moved on after about a week, the way it always does. But the aftershocks in my personal life didn't. My ex did not take the rejection well. Over the next 10 days, she launched what I can only describe as a multi-front campaign to either get me back or rewrite the narrative entirely. Front 1. The mutual friends. She started calling people we both knew and telling them I'd changed after the media attention and that I'd let the fame go to my head. She told our friend group that I'd become cold and dismissive and that she was heartbroken because she'd been nothing but supportive and I'd thrown her away. My buddy, a paramedic who's known me for 7 years and has zero tolerance for nonsense, called me and said, your girl just told my wife you become an egomaniac since the news story. My wife said, he showed up to our barbecue last month in Crocs and a stained t-shirt. He is not an egomaniac. Front 2. Her mom. Her mom called my mom. Not me, my mom. Told her I was breaking her daughter's heart and that I was being cruel by not giving her another chance. My mom, a retired school nurse who has met my ex exactly 4 times, listened patiently and then said, my son runs into burning buildings for a living. If your daughter thinks that's not good enough, I'm not sure what to tell you. Her mom apparently didn't have a follow-up. Front 3, and this is the one that really got under my skin. She tried to use the family I'd rescued to guilt me. The mother of the 2 kids I'd pulled out had done a local TV interview thanking the fire department. She mentioned me by name. It was a nice moment, genuine and emotional. The clip circulated locally. My ex shared that clip on her Instagram stories with the caption, this is the man I love. I will always be his biggest supporter, no matter what. Red heart. She was using a woman's gratitude for her children being alive as content for her redemption arc. When I saw that, I felt something shift. Not anger exactly. More like clarity. The kind you get when you finally see the whole picture instead of just the parts someone's been showing you. I picked up the phone and called her. She answered on the first ring. Probably thought I was coming around. I said, take down the post with the mother and her kids. What? What? Because those are real people who went through something real, and you're using them as props to perform a relationship that doesn't exist anymore. I'm not performing anything. I'm expressing how I feel. You're using a woman whose children almost died in a fire to make yourself look good on Instagram. Take it down. You can't tell me what to post. You're right. I can't. But I can tell you that if you keep posting about me, I'll make sure every person who asks knows the full story. The dinner party. The public safety comment. The holding me back speech. All of it. Silence. Long silence. You wouldn't. I don't want to. But I'm done watching you turn what happened into your personal brand. Those kids aren't content. That fire isn't content. And I'm not content. She took it down within the hour. But she wasn't finished. She changed tactics one more time. And this was the one I honestly didn't see coming. She reached out to a guy at my station. Not through official channels, through Instagram DMs. She'd found one of her newer guys, a probationary firefighter who'd been on the scene that day, and messaged him asking what really happened during the fire. She told him she was worried about my mental state and wanted to know if I'd been acting differently at work. The probie, to his credit, didn't engage. He screenshot the messages and brought them to our lieutenant. Our lieutenant brought them to me. He sat me down in his office and said, "Your ex is DMing our guys asking about you." "That stops now." I told him I'd handle it. I texted her, "You contacted someone at my station. That's not okay. These are people I work with and trust with my life. If you reach out to anyone at my firehouse again, I'm filing for a restraining order. This is the last time I'm going to communicate with you about anything." She responded, "I was worried about you. But fine. If you want to shut out someone who actually cares about you, that's your loss." I didn't respond. I blocked her on everything. Phone, Instagram, Facebook, everything. Then I called my buddy the paramedic and said, "If she contacts you or your wife again, don't engage. Just let me know." He said, "Already done. My wife blocked her yesterday after she tried to get her to talk some sense into you." Update 3, final. It's been about 5 weeks since I blocked her. Here's where it all landed. Her reputation at work took a hit, not because of anything I did, but because of the timeline she couldn't hide. The coworkers she'd been performing for started comparing notes. The same coworker who'd first asked, "Are you dating that firefighter?" apparently went back and looked at my ex's older posts and noticed something. Every photo of us had been archived before the fire. All the My Hero posts from the first year of dating gone. The only posts involving me were the ones she'd put up after the news story broke. Somebody in her office mentioned it in passing, and the observation traveled. People started asking questions. Not confrontational ones, just a quiet, "Wait, didn't she say she was single at the holiday mixer?" kind. A few of her coworkers who'd been friendly started keeping their distance. Not dramatically, just the slow cooling that happens when people realize someone's been curating a version of reality that doesn't hold up. Her VP, the one who'd supposedly wanted to invite me to happy hour, apparently made a comment during a team meeting about authenticity in brand management that, based on the look he gave my ex, wasn't entirely about client work. She didn't mention me at the office again after that. The family I rescued. I want to address this because it matters. I visited the kids at the hospital the day after the fire, and the mom hugged me so hard my ribs hurt. The little girl drew me a picture of a fire truck. It's taped inside my locker at the station. The elderly woman's daughter sent a handwritten card to the firehouse. I read it in the locker room, and I won't lie, I had to sit down for a minute. Those moments are why I do this. Not the news coverage, not the notifications, the drawing on my locker. The news attention faded, which was fine by me. A reporter called the station about 2 weeks after the fire asking if I wanted to do a follow-up interview. I declined. My captain did a brief statement instead. "I'm not built for cameras. I'm built for the job." My ex made one final attempt to contact me about 3 weeks after I blocked her. She sent an email, found my personal email somehow. That was about 6 paragraphs long. I didn't read the whole thing, but I caught enough of the highlights. She said I'd changed. She said the media attention had revealed a side of me she didn't recognize. She said she mourned the man she fell in love with, the one who was apparently humble and grounded before all this. She said I'd let the praise go to my head, and that she hoped I'd find my way back to who I really was. Let me just underline that. The woman who told me my career was holding her back was now telling me the career was making me arrogant. When I was invisible, I wasn't enough. When I was visible, I was too much. The goalposts didn't just move, they packed a bag and relocated to a different state. I didn't respond to the email. I marked it as spam and moved on. From the grapevine, because mutual friends still exist even when you don't want them to, I heard she started dating someone about 3 weeks later. A guy in fintech. She posted a photo with him within the first 2 weeks. Make of that what you will. Her mom still badmouths me to anyone who'll listen. Claims I used the media to humiliate her daughter, which is impressive because I did exactly 1 interview total, and it was about the fire, not her. Her mom also apparently told people I was emotionally unavailable, which, fair enough. I became emotionally unavailable for her daughter specifically. I'm comfortable with that. The honest part, and I'm going to keep this short because I'm not great at this, is that what she said at that dinner party stuck with me longer than it should have. Not the holding me back stuff, the deeper thing underneath it. The idea that what I do isn't enough. That showing up, doing hard work, saving lives when the moment comes, that it doesn't count unless it comes with a title and a salary that impresses people at cocktail parties. I know that's wrong. I know in my bones. But hearing it from someone you love puts a crack in things, and cracks take time to close. My crew has been solid. The guys at the station don't talk about feelings much. That's not really how firehouses work, but they show up in their own ways. My captain pulled me aside after the whole ex-girlfriend situation and said, "You good?" I said, "Getting there." He said, "Good. Now go check the rig." That's firehouse therapy. I still drive the engine. I still work my 24s. I still come home smelling like smoke and eating cold leftovers at weird hours. The job hasn't changed. I haven't changed. The only thing that changed is I stopped letting someone make me feel small for doing something that matters. Last week, the little girl's mom brought cookies to the station. Homemade. Chocolate chip. The girl had written on the box in crayon, "Thank you for saving us. You are brave." I put that box lid in my locker next to the drawing. Some people need a VP's dinner party to feel validated. I've got a crayon note and a locker full of proof that what I do matters. That's enough for me. It always was.